leftism has been the most dynamic religion in the world for the last 100 years. If you don't know leftism, you don't know what people are learning.
The very nature and purpose of government has changed. We no longer have consensus about that. And that means we no longer have a consensus that government ought to be limited.
There's no progress beyond limited government, constitutional government, the equality of man. You can only go backwards, not forwards from certain truths.
If the blue model were working, you would think that a welfare city-state like Chicago or New York, if you were poor, you couldn't stay away.
Part of the problem, and this is huge, leftism is feelings-based, much more than reason-based.
There's something really fundamental about our relationship with God that defines why we have rights that exist prior to government.
Why is it that progressives are so hostile to Second Amendment rights?
They're hostile to any display of independence on the part of citizens.
There's no absolute protection for property in the state. The state, in the idea of the state, you have to get beyond private property protection.
Madison says that that's the very definition of tyranny, to take property from one to another. So we've turned the protections in the Constitution upside down.
The trade-off between government and personal liberty is not always and inevitably zero-sum.
The left has values. They believe that equality is more important than liberty.
All of these things that come out of Roosevelt's New Deal, right? These are the new rights. What we call positive rights actually deprive somebody else of their natural rights.
Do conservatives believe in equality?
Not as a result. We believe that we're born equal because God created us. But no, not of result, that's totalitarian.
What do we think of the living Constitution?
Well, I don't know what it is. They say that the Constitution evolves to keep up with current times.
I think the intellectuals are always the ones who, in their time, try to establish what passes as the latest kind of consciousness that we have of what freedom can be.
There are always going to be demands for amnesty. There's always going to be demands for citizenship. And if we have no control, then of course we're really, quite literally, no longer a sovereign nation.
A republic is like a raft. It never sinks, but your feet are never out of the water. So American foreign policy is a little bit like that.
If the President of the United States sets a red line and it's meaningless, the world and America will pay a terrible price.
This is not a success. And to sort of in the midst of this say, oh, well, thank goodness we don't have to worry about that dreadful war anymore, is probably not the wisest thing someone could do.
America was, they hated America under Bush. Fine. I don't like it, but I don't aim to be loved. If the good are not feared, the bad will be feared.